So let's look at why in the world I actually need to know this. So we're going to find all 6 trig ratios from certain angles. So if I want to do 135, and you have your unit circle out next to you, but I'm just going to sketch. 135 is right here. Okay. 1, 2, 3. I need more room. Beep. 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. And I'll show you a hand trick that I really like for this. So if we're dealing with 135, we should be at this coordinate. Negative square root of 2 over 2, positive square root of 2 over 2. And from that, we find sine, cosine, tangent, and their reciprocals. So I'm going to write down those 6 trig ratios. So remember, our coordinates on the unit circle are cosine, comma, sine. So I know my cosine is negative square root 2 over 2. Secant, I get by flipping that. So negative 2 over square root 2. Sine is your y value, so square root of 2 over 2. Flip it for cosecant. Tangent is sine over cosine. What do you notice about those 2 coordinates? They're actually what? The same thing, except for one's positive, one's negative. So when I divide the same thing, 4 by 4, 5 by 5, x by x, what do I get? 1. But one's negative, so it's going to be negative. And then I have negative 1. All right. So what about if I want to find all of the 6 trig ratios for 180? So 180 is right here. What coordinate did that go with? That was with negative 1, 0. So sine of 180 is 0. If I flip that, I can really think of that as 0 over 1. 1 over 0 would be undefined. So some of these are going to be undefined. Cosine 180 is negative 1. The reciprocal of negative 1 is just what? Negative 1. Tangent is sine, which is 0, over cosine, which is 1, so that's 0. And then what happens with cotangent? Cotangent, if I flip that, 1 over 0 is undefined. So sometimes I get undefined. Now let's look at this one. It says 660 degrees. Is that on your unit circle? No. What does that mean I need to do? Find a coterminal angle. Okay, so I need to subtract 360. Let's see what I get. 300 degrees. All right, that's in the 4th quadrant. You have yours to refer to. Okay. All right, I'm below the x-axis, so 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3. Da, 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 da. How am I doing this so fast? We will talk about the hand trick. That is handy. Huh, you get it? All right. So just do our normal. So sine of 660 degrees equals negative square root of 3 over 2. So cosecant, make sure you're putting degrees on these. Cosecant, I'm just going to flip that. Negative 2 over square root of 3. Cosine is your x value, which is 1/2. Secant, I'm going to flip that, and that would be 2. Tangent of 660 is sine over cosine. So we have negative square root of 3 over 2 over 1/2. How do I divide fractions? I multiply by the reciprocal. Look at what happens. Our 2's cancel. Guess what? That happens every time. So I'm left with negative square root of 3 over 1, which is just negative square root of 3. Cotangent, I'm going to flip that, and that would be 1 over negative square root of 3. Guess what? We don't need to rationalize. So, to summarize, sine of theta is your y coordinate. So cosecant is 1 over your y, or flip your y coordinate. Cosine is x, or 1 over x, or flip your x. Tangent is y over x, but I want you to be starting to think of it as sine over cosine. So what does that mean cotangent is? Okay, it's x over y. We could flip tangent, or we could do cosine over sine. Any of those works.